time. It's 6:59. Perfect. Girl, you were like, ah. So yeah, I just went into the event page, and I think that's what we'll do. We'll do next time. So as people kind of come on in and make sure they can see me. Cool. How are you feeling?
Oh, I'm great. It's a little toasty.
Yeah. All right. Cool. Perfect. So it is 7 o'clock, and we're gonna get started. So thanks, guys, for tuning in. So we're going to be talking about life after competition prep and what to do and how to move forward after that. But before we get into all of that, kind of want to tell you all a little bit about Beauty and Beast Mode. So we are a competition and lifestyle coaching team. We also have some amazing coaches. Anastasia is one of them, and some amazing opposing coaches on our team. And we're all about coming together as a team, supporting one another at shows. And so I'm super glad that you all can join us here. So I will be your host today, Regina Perez Fitness, head coach, Bikini Pro, and judge. And I'll let Anastasia introduce herself.
For those that don't know, I'm Anastasia, one of the coaches, and also a wellness pro. Been doing this a little bit, but I'm glad to be here.
Yes. Girl, I'm just so glad that we got this live to work, because some days I tell you my Verizon was acting crazy. So I wanted to kind of get to know a little bit about you. So tell us a little bit of how you were inspired to start competing and what kind of motivated you.
Um, well, I wanted to challenge myself and find something that just gave me more drive.
Yeah.
Uh, been working out for a long time, and it's just I had all of the pieces, but I didn't quite understand what I needed to do to move to the next level.
Yeah.
Um, so that was kind of what drove me into going into competition, and I put feelers out there and met you guys. So that's,
It's been history
that kind
ever
of pushed me in that
since.
direction. Yeah, yeah.
Ever since. And so you decided to do, or we decided to do OCB as your first show. And like, when we're like, we're doing this show, what went through your mind? Like how are you feeling? Like, we're doing this show, we're going, you're ready, let's go.
I was just happy to be there. Way out of my element. I've never competed before. I've never really, it was totally out of my comfort zone. But I realized, you're not ever going to be ready until you step out there and you're ready.
Yeah, yes. I don't ever really feel ready, even as a bikini pro. Like, I know I look good. It's just like, am I ready? Am I ready? But you just gotta go out there and like see what happens. And for you, I was like, girl, you're ready. You're doing the show. And so having your teammates there with you when you got that overall for both, it was like, oh my goodness. Like, how was that feeling for you as you're like in the moment? Like, what's going through your mind?
Um, Golly, I disbelief. I had to ask a lot of questions, like, what just happened?
Yeah.
I'm pro. I just got here.
Yes.
And Megan was there.
Yeah.
She was there to share the moment, and my husband was there too. And it was an epic moment.
Yes. We had the
Going,
group text
going,
going. I
going.
was like, Megan, send pictures, send pictures. I think that is
Definitely.
definitely surreal. And like you said, you went pro your first show, and that's what happened to me as well. And so from that, there is no going back. It's pro shows from here on out. Like, this is it. Like, you killed it. And so we'll get kind of into, your future shows. But from that, like, you did the show afterwards, and you're like, okay, the show's over, now what? Like, what kind of went through your mind after the show was over? I know we went to do some other shows, but after the first show, what went through your mind?
What's next?
Yes.
You know, what when you go pro on your first show, I do think you kind of, I felt a little bit like wow, I don't really have the experience that I want because it happened fast. So I think just continuing to live the lifestyle and being consistent with my training and my nutrition and continue to, practice my posing and all of those things, they were still part of my day-to-day life.
Yes.
So sticking with that really was just optimal for me because I did want to continue on and I did want to do pro shows. So just staying in that groove helped me a tremendous amount.
Yes.
Yeah.
And like having a plan, like you did that show and I kind of was already like, I want to see you do a different organization. And I felt like we did great, but we're going to stick with, But having that plan of, okay, we're going to do the posing. We got this show lined up. And I think having a good team and a good coach to kind of guide you through that process. Because I've seen some athletes where it's like, okay, you're done the show. See you later. And you're like, okay, like, where do I go from here? Like, what do I do? So I think being with us, like being a part of the family for Beauty and Beast,
right.
like having someone there in my absence and then going to the next show together, I think that's super important. Like after the show, like now what am I going to do? And I went pro my first show and I went straight to the Jordan. It was a little bit different back then. Like now you got to like qualify, but it's a whole bunch of different rules. But I went straight to the Jordan. I was like, I know what I'm doing. This is the plan. And so I think, like you said, having that consistent plan, like you're doing the posing, you're continuing the training. What are you doing for yourself now that you're kind of you're still building and preparing for that next show, but what do you do for yourself, like your mental health?
I stick with it. I found that integrating the lifestyle into my life is better for me. The consistency of training as if I'm in prep, just it keeps everything in order for me. It keeps my fitness in check. It keeps my sleep in check. It keeps my nutrition in check. All of those things, everything comes so much easier if I maintain the course.
Yes.
Going and having the reverse diet so that you don't lose the momentum that you have.
Yep.
And I know a lot of people experience like post-show blues or a sense of, okay, well, it's over. Now what? Now what? If you're going to continue to be an athlete, whether it's in for competition or any other type of fitness, any other scale of fitness, you still have to maintain that lifestyle, or you do feel lost.
I think you hit a key point with that. So for us, it's kind of like a lifestyle now, but for those that are just coming into it, once you hit that 60-day mark, it kind of becomes a part of you, becomes a habit. And like for us, we're competing, but then we kind of go off into like a mini off season, but we're still training. We're still kind of staying within our macros, still on track for a show. And I know for you, when I was doing your checking, I was like, okay, this is our weight. Let's make sure we stay within these numbers. And having someone to kind of just like that accountability, like, hey, I got you. Let's make sure we stay here and stay on track. And that's super important afterwards. Post-show blues is a real thing. Because you go from being, especially going into prep, it's like super strict those last couple of weeks. And then afterwards you go into that reverse, slowly increasing and picking up. And then it's kind of like, I have all this freedom. What do I do? And that's where that lifestyle that you've already created kind of kicks in, like still going to the gym. And having fit friends help, because when I see you and I see my other athletes and I'm like, y'all look good. I got to look good too. So that helps for sure, being around like-minded people that understand what you're going through to get to the show. So with that, so now that we're still kind of in prep for your show, but what are some things that you're doing with your food? Because I see all these tasty little meals you be posting. I'm like, oh, let me see this piece and let me try this. What are you doing to keep it exciting and not like, okay, same thing, rice, chicken, those type of things?
Oh, yes. I love to create new things. Okay. And don't get me wrong. I love the the plan and the consistency of it. But when you have a little more flexibility, it is refreshing to introduce new foods
Yeah.
and be creative. Because that seems to be something that I have found to be a really great hobby. Is creating things. I love to create beautiful
Yes.
plates and find ways to make I made banana pudding the other day. I don't have any more because they ate it all. But, finding, okay, what can I do to make this meal delicious and fit in my macros, cut the fat or cut the sugar, just doing that is a challenge, but it's also a hobby of mine. So I found that to be, fun for me. So it may not be everybody else's cup of tea, but it's definitely mine.
It is, because you don't want to be eating the same things all the time. And for me, I'm just like, I'm eating to live. I gotta go. Let's go. Let's go. When I go out with family, then I'll indulge a little bit more. But having those, seeing you like do the pizzas and the different things, I'm like, okay, that looks good. I might want to try that. And it doesn't take a lot of time from like what you put up there. And so that's another thing, like how much time am I putting into making these foods, something that's quick, easy, and simple, well, less preservatives, less salt, and more healthy. And I'm not going to have the itis after I eat it. So that's another thing with trying to fit things within your macros, while on prep and as you do your off season. And let's see. So tell us a little bit about your next steps, to hit the stage.
Next steps. I'm just gonna keep grinding. I mean, that's what I do best. It's what I do best. So I plan my days out. My hours are planned out. My meals are planned.
Let me tell y'all, we were at a show. It was at Megan's show. She had her meal. She was like, "What time is it? Let me eat." Like, she do not play no
Set
games.
an alarm. Okay, I don't know what everybody else has got going on, but it's time for me to eat.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely. I stay active. I do think, sometimes I'll mix it up, but I maintain the course. I did decide to get a new suit, so we're gonna have a suit reveal for the next show.
Yes. Her waist got so small, like we had to get it tailored, custom, because her waist was just shrinking, which is good. Yes. So like super excited for the new suit for the stage. I mean, I know what color it is, but y'all gonna have to figure it out. You have to follow her to figure out what color it's going to be. Do you want to share with them the next shows, or you just want to pop out and let them see?
Well, of course we have the Orton coming up, and I think we have another one we're going to hit right before the Orton just to get some more stage time. That's going to be in Greenville, Onyx, on the 7th. And then, of course, we have the Orton too. So really excited about both of those.
You're going to do well in both of them. Like, we already know the plan, sticking to it. I'm super excited for you. Just seeing your growth in the sport, like your dedication, sending me the screenshots, like, girl, look at this new muscle. Like, I just love that. And she has a super supportive husband. Like, he's awesome too. So if he's there, tell him I said hi.
Yeah, he's playing video games right now.
But yeah, so definitely, after competition prep, it's important to have, a plan. Obviously, doing a reverse after, but what do you want to do after? And those are for you all listening. And like, what do you want to do after? Do you want to continue to do shows? Do you want to take time off to kind of build? Do you just want to take a break just to kind of do whatever? But I think having a plan and knowing what you want to do is ultimately going to be key, because if you don't, you find yourself, like you were saying, those post-show blues, eating more than you should, or you just got to have that team. And I think it's super important, just checking in on your people. And I've seen it happen, and try to rein it back in, just check in and let people know, like, hey, I'm here for you. Let's talk. Let's go over these things. Just keep a plan. But like, everyone knows working out, you're going to boost your immune system, your endorphins, happy. Like, you may not want to, because every day I don't want to work out. I'd be like, my goals don't care about my feelings, but I'm still going to go work out. And then afterwards, I do feel good. I do feel good.
Absolutely.
Yes. So tell us real quick, like, what is your favorite workout? What muscle group you like to work?
Oh, that's a hard one for me. I am a wellness girl, so legs are always like up there on the
Here,
list.
yeah, up there.
Yeah, yeah. But here lately, I have been my favorite right now is going to be back day, it's just because it's something different. And I really didn't grow up being fit or active, so having the upper body strength to do rep out pull-ups or just do this massive amount of weight as a female, that is like really intriguing for me right now.
Yeah. And
because I've always
gym and we got more muscles than the guys. It's like, yes.
It's always fun.
Yes.
Yeah. So right now, I kind of waver between my leg day and my back day being my favorite, but and I think it's because back day was today. But I have legs tomorrow.
So it balances out. I never really was into back. I was always like glutes, shoulders, but now I've kind of been focusing more on my back, and I wear a lot of backless dresses. So I'm like, so I'm actually loving back days too. Before I was like, I'm just want to be too manly or too bulky. I'm like, no, this looks sexy. This is hot. I'm working my back 2 times a week. So yes, I'm falling in love with back days more and more also.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, girl, for tuning in. I'm so glad to have you join us and share with us what competition prep and after what your plans is and how you kind of plan out for when your show is over. Is there anything that you would like to share with our beauties before we end this session today?
Oh, absolutely. Like, we're here if you have questions or concerns or you need support or you just want somebody there to cheer you on. I didn't think that I would be here a year ago. I look back at my memories, and all I did was go to a show and watch, and a year ago, I was just a spectator, and I was like, well, this is cool. I think I want to try this. And now, here we are, fast forward a year later, and my entire life changed. And I'm like, wow, okay, that is absolutely like amazing. So, and I think anybody can do that. If you're interested in the sport or, you're a spectator or you want to give it a shot or, just to boost your confidence or to try, becoming more fit and more active, or learning how to glam out, because that was something I was what?
And now every time I see you, you're like dolled up the lashes. I remember you're like, how did I put these?
You can help me glue these on.
Yes, you absolutely, like you said, from last year to this year is completely different. And like being on the other side and seeing your transformation from me and like pushing you like, hey, let's do this, let's try this. I think having someone in your corner that really want to see you win and succeed is super important. I'm so glad to have you on the team as a coach and to be with us at our workshop coming up in a couple of weeks. Yes! And so if you haven't gotten a ticket, you get those, but just having you with us to help the team grow and supporting one another is super important. So I'm so thankful to have you here with us, girl. And then until then, I will see you next time.
Bye.